It's time. It's time for your local sports attention getter. It's 4 Deep Sports Talk. Come listen to the sports stars of tomorrow. You can call in at 508-222-1320 on WARA 1320 AM.
Good morning, everybody. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station. 1320 AM WARA and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are highlighting the 2017 South Sectional Division III champions of North Attleboro High School. You can call in at 508-222-1320. See, that wasn't that bad. See how I did that? It was just off the tongue. But first, let's have the guys introduce themselves. And, then I got a bunch of questions to ask. I know Lucy does. I know TJ does, because you know nothing about your season except you guys went all the way and just fell short of, the grand prize. But you still had a fantastic season, and that's what we want to hear about. So, Sam, you want to go first for us? Just bring the mic right over. That's fine.
I'm Sam Bullock. I'm a senior at North Attleboro High School. I played offensive and defensive line.
Zach DiMatteo, senior at North Attleboro High School, played linebacker.
I'm Chad Peterson, senior, also senior at North Attleboro, and I played quarterback.
And, of course, we have Coach Don Johnson. Him and I have been working on this for a while, and he is in his 9th season, 35th year with the school. I know, Coach, you might have to lean over a little bit, so I apologize for that. No problem. My first couple of questions is, did you and your staff, I'd like you to mention your staff and give them shout-outs eventually. Definitely do that. But when you get these guys together at double sessions, did you guys have a feeling with your staff it was going to be this special?
Well, I don't think you ever go in preseason and actually think that you're going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, because it just seems like those first couple of weeks you've got a long way to go. It takes a lot of work to put the team together. Yeah. But we did think there was a nucleus there with these three guys that had a great deal of potential, because they were great character kids and hard workers and great role models for us. So we thought there was a lot of potential.
Now, did you, as far as holes that these kids had to fill, I mean, how many holes were you missing going into this year as far as seniors graduating?
Well, we had a fair number of guys. I would say about half the guys on offense and defense that had some experience from the year before. So all these guys had been on the field the year before. So, when you got to replace half your team, that's a lot, and it takes a special group to do what they did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now before we forget, and sometimes I get sidetracked, and Lucy's always better at this than me. Why don't we give a shout out to your coaches, your staff, because like anybody else, you can't do it by yourself. It ain't like a Pop Warner team. It's a very good program you have over at North Attleboro.
Yeah, we got a great staff. On our varsity level, I have an assistant coach who's our offensive coordinator. His name is Paul Sullivan. He's been coaching football for over 40 years. In fact, was the head coach at North Attleboro for a time himself and a long-time assistant. So we're fortunate to have him running our offense for us. And then we have Derek Herber, who is our offensive and defensive line coach, who is a graduate of North Attleboro High School, been there a long time now. And then Coach Jack Johnson, who is our defensive back coach and our quarterback coach. He's also a North Attleboro High School graduate. And then I have Mike Hart, who is a recent graduate of North Attleboro High School, coaching our defensive ends and helping with the offensive line. And then lastly, a gentleman by the name of Matt Ames, who has been with us for a few years now, who coaches our running backs and helps with our defensive backs. So they're a great staff.
Now, what about the JV and freshmen? Do you have a freshman program?
We do have a separate freshman program. The same guys that I just mentioned kind of run the JV programs. They play their games on Monday, and we all go down there and help out. But we have a separate freshman staff. Coach Andy Mingo was our head coach down there. Alan Foster was his assistant coach. Barry Gorman was an assistant coach with him. And Pat Griswold was another assistant coach. So a lot of great guys down there helping us out on the freshman level, too.
Well, that's good. At least we didn't want him to. We don't want to leave him out, Coach. We don't want him. Hey, why didn't you mention me?
Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate it.
Well, like you said, well deserved, good staff. It obviously shows with a great season you guys had this year. And I think sometimes now I coached Pop Warner in Taunton for years, and one of the most outstanding youth programs I always noticed was the Pop Warner level in North Attleboro. And I was going to start with Sam, because Sam's ready to ask those questions. I can see him as I see him, Chad. He's ready to go. So, do you think the youth program helped you guys get ready for coach's system once you guys got to high school? Is that pretty fair to say, or?
Yeah, I mean, the Pop Warner system in North Attleboro has always been one of the more successful ones in the surrounding area. But it's mostly just preparing everyone for the work ethic and the commitment level that it takes to be able to succeed at the high school level.
What about you guys? You guys feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel like the Pop Warner level really teach you to love the game and have fun.
Yeah.
So when you do get to high school, you can really bear down and be ready for the grind.
There you go. What about you? What about you?
Yeah, I definitely think it prepared me for high school. I mean, you just develop a winning culture,
Yeah.
which is huge to have. Like, you expect to win every game because that's what you do at the Pop Warner level.
And I mean, it's crazy what they have for teams. I mean, they
Oh,
might have,
really?
oh yeah, they might have like 4 Mike teams, and they call one the Jets because y'all can't be the red, y'all can't be the big red, and one's the Reds, one's the Royals, and I'm looking like, how come they're not? Oh, that makes sense. I mean, how can you call them? Because everyone has to register, and they have their certain team names. It was crazy. I remember we were scrimmaged one time. You'd have one North Attleboro D team on one side with white shirts on, and then you go to the other side. Of course, they came over to practice one time, scrimmage us with Taunton. Then there's 2 more D teams on the other side playing. I'm like, holy smokes! It was incredible, the feeder system you had. But coach, that definitely helps. No, a feeder system like that. And how much of an impact do you guys have to help them out down there?
Well, it definitely helps, and I think the key to it is that, as Zach mentioned, it actually just introduces the kids to the game, and they learn how to have fun playing football.
Yeah.
And we work closely with them. We do camps for those guys. We do clinics for the Pop Warner coaches, and our big thing with them, we don't go down there and tell them, here's what you should run on offense, or what you should run on defense, because they're not always capable at those young ages of doing what we're doing on the high school level. So my message to those guys all the time in our Pop Warner program is just make sure the kids have fun and come back.
Yeah.
And then, give us the bodies. Give us lots of bodies, and then we can take it from there when they get to high school. So as long as they're having fun and keeping them interested, that's helping us.
Now, I was at one of their clinics, and you were there. We were at community field, and you guys had the big tackle mat you guys use, and they were showing them how to slide their head, of course, eliminate concussions. And I mean, you guys know as anybody, you can absorb whatever you can absorb as far as, but when you got caught up in a situation, you're ready to tackle, so you might forget something, and that's how a concussion can happen. But just the way you were trying to prevent that, slide your head, stay low, form, and they were all going to the big bag. I was like, I wish we had one of these down there. Why can't we afford one of these? And I just thought, and it was probably like high school things you had, but you were showing the whole group. And I thought that was really neat. I mean, I thought that was pretty impressive. You went from angle tackling to straight on tackling, and the other kid was just a dummy, just taking in. Was any of you guys at that youth clinic? Did any of you guys? No, you don't look familiar. You had your helmets on anyway.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. These guys might have been in Pop Warner.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, but I thought that was real impressive when you ran that clinic down there. I was actually, it was a while ago, but I'm pretty sure that was you and you guys were down there, or if not, the other coach, but you were part of it.
Yep.
And I thought that was really good the way you went over the form tackling, as far as trying to prevent concussions and just different techniques as far as not just tackling, but mechanics on certain positions you went over. And I thought it was really impressive. I was like, wow, this guy really knows his stuff, and he's not being arrogant, and he's just trying to help out other people, Because sometimes I've gone to that, and you've probably seen it more than I have. Unfortunately, you go to these people, they might mean well, but they get caught up in themselves, right? And next, it's like me.
No,
Well, you're not here for me. You're here to, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, it happens. I don't think it's there. I think you just get caught up in the moment. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. How are you doing for time, young man?
3:25 left.
3:25 and
30
cooking.
minutes in the first.
Well, we're flying. So I was curious, when you guys came into this season, you 3 guys, were there a certain team you were looking that you wanted to get, personally, like you wanted to play, like, oh my God, I had a bad game against these guys last time, and is there any certain team in the Hawk you wanted to play, like, you know what I mean? Anybody come to mind? Sam's like, Sam's foaming at the mouth. He's like, oh,
yeah.
he's ready to go.
Who is it?
Well, I think that definitely the goal every year is to beat KP. They're always a good team, and they've beaten us twice in a row now. So, they're always a really good program, and we always hope to beat them.
Right. What about you guys?
I think Stoughton's always a good one every year because it's always a close game, and you always look forward to those ones because there's a possibility of you playing them in the playoffs later. So that first game really matters and how you set the tone for the rest of the season.
Right.
You don't really want to look too far ahead, but I was coming into the season looking forward to playing Duxbury again. Hopefully, they beat us the past 2 seasons in the playoffs, and that's a
You must have been in your glory.
Yeah.
No
You
kidding.
must have had that personal glory going on when that happened.
yeah, definitely.
Do you guys always look forward to playing against where I went to high school on Thanksgiving?
You went to Attleboro.
Attleboro.
Oh, Attleboro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always look forward to the Thanksgiving tradition and like everything that offers.
That's almost like a Super Bowl game in itself. It's so. I mean, you walk through the gate, and that tradition's so. At least, my opinion, it's almost like you can cut the intensity with a knife. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a friendly Thanksgiving game. No one's supposed to get it, and then you have to,
Supposed to be fun.
and then coach has to worry about who do I play, because there's a hypothetical. Chad could go down, Sam could go down. And then you got to worry about hopefully you have a good, decent backup. And that's why I personally think they need to structure that better. Because then that takes the fun out of you guys playing in Thanksgiving, especially if you're going on to the playoffs. And then, you know what I mean? Especially if you're on Facebook and you're talking smack to your buddy from Attleboro and he's a good friend of yours. And, and you're always bragging about who's going to beat who. And then he's giving you a hard time because you're not on the field of Thanksgiving because you have a playoff game. And, just be all that silly stuff that goes on with a good relationship that you guys had with Attleboro and on Thanksgiving, and that kind of stinks, Coach, the way they do. I don't like the way they do that. I wish it was better formatted.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would say our Thanksgiving game this year was probably the most difficult one to prepare for, both from a coaching perspective and I think emotionally for the kids, because we had a tough playoff game the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We won that, which meant we were going to be playing in Gillette, and then you have to get up for this big rivalry game. It was really difficult in those circumstances.
All right, we will take our first break. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the new station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are highlighting the 2017 South Sectional champions, North Attleboro football. We'll be back with more right after this.
And welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk 1320 WARA. I am TJ Albin, joined by Dom Damiano, the sports master Justin Ferreira, and Lucy Cabral. We are joined here live with the North Attleboro football team. Guys, what's going on?
How you doing?
I always catch people off guard when I do
Right,
that.
you know what? I think you did catch them off guard because it made it sound like we were in church for a minute. They were like,
Did I?
back in the back of the
Throat's
pews,
killing me, I swear.
That's all right.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm doing good, Justin. How you doing?
All right, so one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go through, for those people who lived under a rock, these guys, and of course we're talking about the Red Rockets from North Attleboro. This was their season, and I don't have my glasses on, but I see how I stick my hand out further, I can see it better. They started the season on the 8th, that would be September 8th, right?
Yep.
With a very close, but unfortunately a loss to King Philip, 24 to 14. We'll touch on that before we dive into playoffs. They blanked Bishop Feehan 35-0. Then they blanked the Eagles of Sharon 42 to 8. And when I mean they beat them bad. Another big team they beat out of the Hawk was you guys did. I'm telling you, 27 to 6. Then they played the Warriors, beat them in a close one. I'm curious about that one because that was 14 to 13. Then they played the Black Knights of Stoughton. In Stoughton, and I'm sorry I didn't give you the dates. That was the 13th of October. They beat them 35 to 21. Hosted Canton, beat them 42 to 13. Then the regular season was over. They went into their playoff format, and they played Walpole. Beat Walpole 28 to 14. Right? Am I getting that right?
Yep.
Thank you. She always has my back.
Oh, yeah.
But replayed Stoughton, but this time I think he really gave it to him again, 35 to 14. Played Duxbury. And I know one individual to my right was very happy with that victory, 35 to 0. I bet you stepped up your game on purpose on that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Shutout, right?
yeah.
35 down.
Then they went into state sectional play, I believe, if I'm reading this right, at Weymouth and played Tewksbury, Memorial 29-22. They played Attleboro in a rematch on Thanksgiving, 14-6, and of course St. John's Prep came up short, 35-33. But first I want to go to the Foxborough game because, like I told you, this is your hour. 14-13. What was the situation? What happened with that? Do you guys have any individual ideas on what, as players, what happened with that? I mean, Coach, you already know they obviously planned well, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think Foxborough played a great game. I would say that, first of all.
Absolutely.
They were very good on defense that day. We weren't as sharp as we were capable of being. We had some guys banged up, that sort of stuff. But I really think the difference was that Foxborough played a great game on defense.
All right, who was playing PlayStation the night before and who forgot was it homework? Come on. Time to confess. Confession's good for the soul. So, but what, we can go the other way with the mic. So, what did you guys think going into that Foxborough game? Like for you, for the quarterback, what type of look did they give you to catch you off balance? Or was it just they were, like Coach said, they were just that well prepared defensively?
Yeah, they were really aggressive on defense. They played a lot of man-to-man, sent a lot of blitzes, and, having success the previous year and with their record not as strong as we were, a lot of people, we might have taken the game lightly.
Do you think so? That might have been the outcome because in the past you guys pretty much had their number, and they definitely changed. I mean, Coach will tell you, kudos to them. I mean, kudos to them. And the only thing that stinks about that is the other teams that are playing you. That's the first tape I'm looking at. I'm looking at the North Attleboro, Foxborough tape. What did they change to get you off kilter, make you double think on the line of scrimmage? You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I would be thinking. I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that to North Attleboro. Now, what do you think? What was your aspect going into that?
Foxborough always going in is a tough football team. They always play fast and physical. So, I mean, we knew what we were going up against.
Yeah.
So, and we just executed at the end of the game better than they did. Came out.
Now we'll leave it up to Sam. Sam will be our point on guy on this one. So what about you, Sam? What did they change for you on the line?
Well, I don't think it was so much anything that they did, like some weird formation or anything. I think they were just a lot of tough players. They played really hard, always really well coached.
Yeah.
And that's always a tough team to beat.
Now, what were the adjustments you had to make for yourself in that game?
Oh, we just had to, as an offensive line, we had to just communicate a lot more than we had in the past. Make sure everyone knows exactly what they're doing and executes on their specific job, and we ended up on top, so that's good.
Now, just so you can educate me and all of us here, how did that finally play out? The 14-13, was it late? Did you guys score late in the game, or were they making slow threats at the end of the game? Just so we can educate people who weren't there.
Yeah.
Because anybody can look at a box score and say, hey, this is, what I mean. But you guys know, you guys were there.
Yeah. So we were up 14-7. It was late in the game, and they drove down, and they actually scored a touchdown, I believe, with like 10 seconds left in the game.
Wow.
And then they went to kick the point after, and we sent a blitz right in the kicker's face, and we blocked it.
So you didn't rough him, though. You got away with it. You didn't rough him, so that's cool. Oh, that's a good. Now, what was it? A gap, B gap? Was it one of those deals, or did you just? Was it?
This guy right here, Zach.
Zach?
Yeah, he might remember.
Zach, I better remember the color of your eyes. Right? Oh, that's funny. That's good, though. That's good. At least were you worried about hitting him? Where your momentum was going in that game?
I mean, in that situation, you're really not. You're just really thinking about getting through the line.
Right, where the ball is.
Yeah, I remember me and Sam were in A gap, and I kind of just put my hand on his back, and we just watched the ball.
Yep.
And we had a lot of guys get in there, so it was a good way to end it.
Absolutely. Good call. Whoever called that one. Well, so who we got? Don, do we pat you on the back for that, or we give it to the special teams coach, or?
No, I think you give it to these guys right here.
There you go.
They got some good pressure. A lot of guys got through there, and the kick was a little low too. So I think the kicker cooperated a little bit with it.
So he saw you.
Yeah.
He saw you guys coming.
Yeah.
So you could see the center's throat with his Adam's apple sticking out, like, oh my God, they're coming, right? Well, that's good. I mean, you had to do what you had to do, and he had to get off a good kick, and you guys did what you had to do to win the game. I mean, shout out to them, and that was one of the big games. Otherwise, I mean, for the most part, when you guys mentioned about the King Philip game, you guys were in a serious groove the rest of the way before the playoffs started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was pretty
Winning
cool. Yeah,
track there.
yeah.
So tell us about the Duxbury game. What happened there?
It was what I remember, it was like a really, really cold night. So our plan going in was we were going to run the ball, we were going to set the tone, and we came out, we scored right away, got a stop, scored again, and then, you know, their offense was predicated on like quick screens and throwing the ball. And I think with the weather and with the defensive game plan, we kind of like out-physicaled them up front, and we played a really, really good game. So
Yeah. It's been very happy there, huh?
yeah, it was.
35-0, I mean,
That's pretty.
that's
impressive.
pretty darn good.
And I want to ask him what changed from the regular season. I know we had a personal, something personal you wanted to prove to yourself you could do it. Did you change anything? Did you go with the same approach though, going into that game?
Yeah, definitely. You go into each game with the same approach, with the same mentality. So nothing
Right.
really changed. Yeah.
So you didn't change your pivot or anything. You didn't change the way you drop back and set and nothing like that.
No.
I was hoping you was gonna give me something juicy.
Yeah.
Coach. Like you saw that guy come, he winked at him and said, you know, come on and get off the screen, sucker him in some more. You know.
Yeah.
That's good though. That's good. So besides injuries, how after that was it after the Foxborough game? You said you were banged up in the Foxborough game, so you were hurting on bodies. Were you healthy after that?
Yeah, we got pretty healthy. In fact, the Duxbury game was probably when we hit our peak health-wise. So we had everybody that night and really played a complete game. You know, it was one of those rare games where everything you set out to do kind of worked: offense, defense, special teams.
Yeah.
So it was a great night, and Zach capped it off with a pick six toward the end of the game that was really
Nice.
special as well.
How did that feel?
Felt good. I mean, they've come in the past 3 years and beaten us 2
Yeah.
years, and so I mean that game really meant a lot to the seniors to really just end it.
Now, do you guys play? I don't know. I apologize again, but that's what I love about the show. You get to educate us on what's going on, because you guys know there's a lot of football going on. So we go by the scores and what we see, and we get privileged to have you guys in here. So, do you guys play a 5-3, a 3-4, or a 4-3, or what's the setup? I'm trying to picture where you'd be, Zach, on that for that pick.
Well, the base defense is a 4-3, so
Okay.
Zach was our middle linebacker.
Oh, so you just dropped right back.
Yeah.
What, did you step in front of the tight end or a back coming out of the backfield?
Yeah, it was. They had a quick hitch on, so
Yeah.
my responsibility was to go into the curls. So I just dropped back, and I saw the quarterback look right to try to look the linebackers and the safeties off, and then he kind of just turned without really looking. And I kind of just jumped it.
Nice.
Yeah.
You realize you would look like a goat if you didn't get that ball, right?
Yeah.
I bet you that was mentioned. Are we doing good, sir? 2 minutes. All right, so then we'll have I know we're going to have Keith Hannon calling in. Keith Hannon, is that right, Coach? I think it's Keith Hannon, right?
Keith Kenyon, maybe?
Kenyon, thank you. Calling in from the New England Football Clinic. So we're not going to have a sports flash today, and he's going to educate us on what he's going on with his clinic. I thought it was pretty cool because
Yeah, definitely.
it's towards youth kids and high school kids, and it's coming up next weekend. So I thought it'd be nice for him to call in. We should be calling in within the
So what are we gonna do with the
bottom half of
sports
the hour.
master?
The sports master.
What about the sports master?
He's going to ask us questions and help us out, right?
Absolutely. He's like, oh, am I awake or not?
Yeah, we got to wake him up. I got to talk to his mother.
Yeah, definitely.
He definitely didn't have his Captain Crunch today. That's for sure.
He's gotta get that coffee. He's gotta get that coffee in.
Gonna get that coffee.
I don't drink coffee either.
So what do you have in the morning then?
I had two of those bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwiches.
There you go. There you go. That's a good pop. That's
Breakfast
it.
of champions.
The breakfast of champions. 1 minute. All right.
1 minute?
Yep. So
Yeah. So I want to talk about more of the Super Bowl game. I mean, it was a close game. What happened there? What happened? Close game. 35-33.
Yeah, they were good. St. John's was really good. Very
Yep.
high-powered offense.
Yeah.
We
They were saying it was the quarterback matchup of the season.
Yeah,
so.
it was. I mean, we felt fairly confident going in that we could move the ball on
Yeah.
them as well. So it wasn't
Yeah.
surprised that it was a high-scoring game. But to beat them, we knew we had to get a couple of stops in the first half. We never really got them. Mm-hmm. And St. John's got a pretty good lead on us, and these guys just came battling back. And Chad suffered a sprained ankle in the second quarter, so we were hobbled
jeez.
there, and he was out for a little while. But he came out in the second half and moved us down and brought us right back. We were a couple extra points away from walking out of there and stealing.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
Would you say that speed played a role in this game?
Yeah, they were good at just about every position. They
Yeah.
had a great running
You're
back.
quick.
They had a great quarterback. They had a huge offensive line. We were outmatched size-wise. They were 300 pounds in
Oh,
every
my
spot
goodness,
except
really?
for one, I think. And
Like a D3 team.
yeah, it really was. It was like playing a college team, and being in the big environment there in Gillette Stadium. That's why I felt like I was back in college again. But these guys did a great job standing up to them.
So what was that like, guys, being in Gillette? And, must have been crazy,
Sounds
right?
like if we won, it would have been better, but it was still fun. Right, 'cause that's what the expression looks like. I'm guessing.
Oh, sure, but like when you walk out on that field, I mean, this is the same field that Tom Brady's on. Hello, right?
Good point.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit surreal that first time walking out on the field. Growing up a Patriots fan, it's always everyone's dream. But once we got on the field and the game kind of started, it just felt like a regular game, and I think that was probably one of the keys to how we were able to play as well as we did.
Really had to focus and get down to business.
So we're going to go on a break, and then
Okay.
you guys can finish that up for us, because you still want to hear how you feel. All right, we're going to step away. We are taking our second break. You can call them when we get back at 508-222-1320. We are highlighting the 2017 Division III South Sectional Champions, the Red Rockets of North Attleboro. We'll be back with more right after this. Hey, everybody, welcome. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station. 1320 AM WARA and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are highlighting the 2017 Division III South Sectional champions, the Red Rockets from North Attleboro. And on the line, Keith, are you with us? Hello, Keith?
Yes.
Okay. So turn me down a little bit because I'm a little high.
Yeah, you got it.
I just lost my eardrums. Hey Keith, you got that big clinic on. First of all, thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Can you just educate our listeners what you got going on March 3rd? Actually, is it March 2nd and 3rd? Actually, the whole weekend, correct, down in Newport?
Yeah, so it's going to be, Dominic, our 44th year of this clinic, and it's at the Newport Marriott Hotel in Rhode Island, and we start Friday around 2 o'clock or so, and we kind of go nonstop football right through till Saturday around 2:15 or so. So it's a pretty intensive 2 days of football for a lot of coaches.
Now, who do you have? I think one guy's to my right. He was talking about he might be coming down there. Is that true, Don? Are you going down there again to help
No,
out?
I can't make it this year.
Oh, you can't
Usually
make
I'm
it.
there every year.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about the venue of some of the coaches you have coming to the clinic?
Sure. So, Donnie has spoken at the clinic several times and does a wonderful job. And but what we do is we have 5 lecture rooms that are going on simultaneously. And those are, we have college, kind of high school college rooms. There's 3 or 4 of those. And then we have one that's dedicated just to youth coaches where we have high school coaches speak. And that's what Don has spoke at before in the past. And this year we have a new feature, which is pretty unique, that our youth lectures this year, there's going to be most coaches will do 2 lectures down there during the course of the clinic. And their first one will be kind of a chalk talk X's and O's, but their second one is actually a live demonstration in the ballroom where they're going to use their high school players to come in and demonstrate drills and techniques and that kind of thing, which we've never done this before. So we're really excited that all of our youth coaches in attendance are going to get to really feel it and see it that day. Which we think will be exciting. But, when you go into the high school and college rooms, Dominic, we think that this year we have a phenomenal staff of people that are speaking, and probably headlined mostly by Dante Scarnecchia, the longtime offensive line coach of the Patriots, that's going to speak Saturday morning, who's phenomenal. We have Don Brown, the defensive coordinator at University of Michigan, who's a Massachusetts, was originally from Massachusetts. We have Bob Chesney, who's the head coach at Holy Cross, who moved over there from Assumption last year. We have Liam Cohen, who just took a job as the assistant receivers coach with the Los Angeles Rams, and he's a Rhode Island kid that played at the University of Massachusetts. We have Jack Cooper from the University of Nebraska, who's the defensive safeties coach. We have Tyler Bowen, who's the tight ends coach at Penn State. We have two great coaches from Boston College. We have Jim Reed, the defensive coordinator, and also we have Anthony Campanelli, who was the defensive backs coach of the year nationally last year for BC. So, with our high school college lineup, we think it's as good as any clinic that you'll see in the country.
Well, that's great. I mean, I like the idea of having the hands-on because God knows if me personally, if I'm sitting in the classroom too long, I'm going to fall asleep. So I like the idea that you're up and oh, yeah, I'll be the first one to tell you. Especially if I have like a bacon sandwich in me already, you got to get me moving because you only can take so much chop talk, But Keith, thank you for calling. We appreciate it. Can you let us know how they can sign up for any lay people that want to?
Yeah, so if you just go right to our website, which is www.bignewenglandfootballclinic.com, there's just drop-down tabs to register, and love to see people in Newport. It's a phenomenal hotel, and it's a great clinic, and like I said, it's our 44th year, so I guess we must be doing something right, Dominic.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm again, like I told you, I started doing the college football thing for Division II, so it's been a while since I've been out. I think it's been, unfortunately, maybe 5 years, but I know you run a great program. It's a lot of fun, some great vendors, and again, I thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Dominic.
All right, thank you, Keith. And I owe you guys an apology because I'm sitting here and you know how you see so many high school teams? It's a Rocketeers. I said the Red Rockets. That's I probably got that. I probably got that from the playing Pop Warner football. Yeah. So I'm saying to myself, so Rocketeers. So we have the South Sectional Rocketeer champions in here from Division III North, the Big Red, right? But I wanted to ask you guys, as far as work ethic for each position, we kind of talked about this when we went on the air. What advice first of all, what did you work on personally? Because a coach, you can only do double sessions so many times to get ready for a system you forgot from last year and get the muscle memory going on where to stand, what to do, who to block, you know what I mean? With that being said, what did you guys personally work on to get ready for this season? Sam's like, I'll go again. You're bailing me out. You know that, right?
Obviously, it starts in camp.
Right.
Conditioning, all that good stuff. Mentally, how do you prepare for the season?
Well, one of the big things that we do every year is over the summer we have a team lifting program.
Oh.
And that just helps get everyone in shape. And, a big thing with that, too, is we all lift together, and it's a big team bonding thing. And I think going into camp, that really set a good tone for how the season was going to play out.
That's great.
We also have captains practices where all the seniors get together and kind of plan like workouts and conditioning type things, and that really allows our team to get together and really just get to know each other and start the season off on the right foot.
Great.
And also in the summer we do a passing league up in Bridgewater Raynham. So it's a way for us to kind of refamiliarize ourselves with everything, with all the routes and everything, and get some timing down. So
Now, how does that work for you, though, as far as anything personally that you wanted to work on? Besides, the camp, and you already know you're going to double sessions. Is the weight room mandatory? No?
No, but
Okay, but it's always good to get a step in.
Yeah.
And put on some muscle instead of looking like me. But, I was curious, what did you do for your position to get yourself ready for this year?
I spend a lot of time in the summer working on like techniques, getting some of the new receivers who didn't play last year to go to the high school and throw with me, just so we can get some timing down and some
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's get gelling and stuff like that.
Get an idea what you guys are like looking forward to for the season, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. What about you, big guy? What did you do different this year? Besides knock all the people over.
I think just being on defense, like a big thing is to try to be stronger and outwork the other kids on the other side of the line. So really lifting, conditioning was a really big part for our defense, especially when we played St. John's late in the season with the no huddle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it really helped a lot being conditioned and strong.
Yeah, especially being winded, right? Because, you guys know you don't score. When you guys are scoring 42 points a game, it wasn't like, you don't walk to the ball. You execute, and you're like on.
Yep.
And you got to be winded. If you're not on, you ain't scoring 40, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And you could definitely see it with the teams late in games, like during the Hawk team, the regular season, that really towards the end of the game they're just worn down and we're still just getting started. So.
Okay. How about you, Sam? What did you do besides the weight room? I know that was great that you mentioned the weight room, but you personally to get ready for your position, because if you don't do your job, no one's running the ball, no one's going to get any pass protection. No, you know what I mean? So what did you do to get yourself,
Yeah, one of the big things I worked on this off season was just getting my footwork down. It's kind of an underrated aspect of line play on both sides of the ball, but you have to have your feet in the right place at the right time, or you're not going to get anything done. So I think just making sure, like using the agility ladder and everything, trying to quicken my feet up, that was a big part of what I did.
Now, how many different ladders? I think is great for linemen anyway. I mean, everyone thinks it's more of a skilled position drill, but I think if you you hit the nail on the head, at least in my opinion, as far as if you don't have good footwork, you'll trip over the other lineman. You won't know how to step the right way if you're pulling or down block. You know what I mean? Is there certain drills you did on that ladder? Like, I mean, there's so many different ones you can do, in and out, bunny hop all the way through. Were there certain ones you would recommend to a younger kid?
I think pretty much just anything you can do where you're moving your feet as fast as you can and getting it down in the right spot. It's going to work your feet pretty well and just get what you need to get done.
All right, we have our next call. Hello, you're next on 4 Deep Sports Talk. Hello.
Hey, Dominic.
Hey, who's this?
This is Rich.
Rich, how are you? Calling from East Bridgewater. Hey, do you? Hey, do you have a question for the North Attleboro football players?
No, I just wanted to let you know that I will see you this afternoon.
All right, buddy. So I'll see you over at Brockton, right?
What a call.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for calling, Rich.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it. He is actually helping us. We're doing a game tonight of the Votech State Championship over at Brockton AZF Ice Arena. And Rich,
the one we got to rush to?
The one we got to rush to. It's at 3 o'clock. So after this, it's like, hey, guys, great to meet you. See you later. Bye. So don't, well, with that being said, I know you have a question.
Yeah. Is it more fun to play at a Gillette than your home football stadium?
I think playing at Gillette is definitely something that not a lot of people get to experience, but there's really nothing like community field on a Friday night with the whole town there under the lights. And really, like, Gillette was really fun, but I think nothing really compares to playing a community field.
No, I'm sure you got a lot of support from the community. They were all rooting for you and everything else. And just stepping into Gillette must have been like, wow, the whole town's here. Must have been just an incredible feeling, knowing that your town's behind you and you want to make it happen,
Yep.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
All right, we are going to take our last break. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are highlighting the 2017 North Attleboro Rocketeers. I finally got it right. Your South Sectional champions. We'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk. I am TJ Alvin, alongside with Dom Damiano, the Sports Masters Justin Ferreira, and Lucy Cabral, 1320 WARA. And we are... I'm doing good. No, I think I'm doing all right. And we're here with North... Did I not put the mics on?
Uh-oh.
I'm getting there.
You're gonna need
I'm
another.
good.
You're gonna need another term
Internship.
to get
Yeah.
it down.
And we're here with North Attleboro football team. So, guys, let me ask. I know I was going over this over the break.
Well, we have a call first, right?
Oh yeah, we have a call.
Let's take the call.
All right.
Actually, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. How you up next on 4 Deep Sports Talk?
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really enjoying the talk with the football team here from North Attleboro. I was just curious because these guys are all seniors. How do they feel when they first started playing on artificial surfaces? And also, what kind of a difference is it at game time when they're playing at night or during the day?
That's a great question.
You definitely can tell a difference between the artificial turf and grass. You feel like a lot faster when you're playing on artificial turf, and then playing at night. I think the night games bring a lot more excitement to the games. Playing Tewksbury and Sharon in the afternoons, those games weren't as exciting and weren't as. They just felt a lot different playing during the day.
That's really good.
What about you guys? What about the rest of you guys on that question? That was a great question.
I agree with Chad. When it's on turf, it's a lot faster, and the cuts are a lot different. And it's a lot more durable with the weather. And then playing at night, I think, especially earlier in the season, it plays a big role into the weather, like similar to our Sharon game, which was very hot, and a lot of times at night, it's just better weather for the players.
That's very good because I heard it in the earlier segment where you were talking about your conditioning, and I bet you could really see it at night when you're playing these guys. If they've never played out at night under those conditions, and coming into the fourth quarter when you can see breathing heavy, taking a longer time to get off the ground to get back up, I can definitely see where that was going to make a difference.
That's a good point. That's a great point. Well, thank you for the call, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
You
Bye-bye.
too. So, Sam, could you finish that thought up for you personally? From, like you said, switching from grass to turf and then the night games to the day games?
Yeah, well, from a lineman's perspective, I actually prefer a nice grass field to a turf field. There's something just about feeling the grass underneath. It just makes it so much more enjoyable for me.
Right.
And then, with the night games, I feel the same way. It's definitely a lot more fun playing at night under the lights. Usually the whole town comes out, and we got, probably one of the best rowdy crowds in the state.
Right. You guys have great numbers. Oh, my God. Even the youth football, they always had great. They're pretty much it depends. Like the young kids, the parents are a little nervous. They want to see their kid get hit. And then as you go to D and you get, the extra lighter, and then everybody's there, Oh, they must be ready to play football now. They're playing A-ball, or B-ball. But that's what I've noticed. But that's cool. I always like me personally, I always like the fresh smell of the cut grass. You know what I mean? But back then we still had grass. There was such thing as turf. But yeah, that's what I was. For me personally, I used to love that. You smell the cut grass, or sometimes, depending on the school, sometimes it'd have septic tanks. And I'm not going to name the school, but you can smell that residual odor. Oh my God! I'd be like, you got to be kidding me! This should be condemned. What are we doing here? And everyone would act like nothing's going on, but you slide in the dirt. You don't know what the heck it is.
So, Coach says we have 22 seniors going out next year. So for you guys, I know you're going on, college maybe or not. What are you leaving with the underclassmen that are going to be up, next year for the season?
Well, I hope that they're just kind of learning, the work ethic that it takes to be successful, play at a high level. You got to put in what you're going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a lot more fun if you're winning and putting in the work to win than if you're just going along for the ride.
And do they understand that? Do they?
I think most of them do. I'm hoping that that's one of the things that we can leave behind as kind of just add to the tradition of success at North Attleboro.
That's great. You guys?
They were along for the ride this year with us, so I really think they know what it takes to make the run that we did this year. So I really think if they just take the teamwork and leadership that we had this year and bring it into next year, they'll be very successful.
Yeah, hopefully they can learn from the experiences that they had this year and like being able to be a part of big games and things like that. They're able to use that next year when they do play in big games.
I think one big thing that comes to mind. I have a question, Ken. You can go.
Are any of you thinking about playing college football?
Yeah, I will be playing college football next year at Amherst College.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
awesome. How about you guys? You guys playing any other continuing on with football?
I'm not playing
No?
football in college, no.
No. What about you, Sam? You playing?
I'm planning on pursuing track in college.
Oh, good for you.
Nice. And where are you guys going? You're going to Amherst.
I'm playing baseball at Wheaton.
Nice.
Oh, good for you.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice job.
That's good. I know you had an earlier question.
Yeah, I know. I was touching before. I forgot about the call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry. Go ahead, Sam. What are you doing?
I'm not quite sure where I'm going yet.
All that just for not sure. Well,
Oh,
he could have texted us that answer. Sorry, Sam. I just knew TJ had a question. I felt bad because
You had to think about my name, didn't you?
I did. I had to write it down.
Oh, you had to write it down.
Well, I had so many interns we've had in the last 10 years.
Oh,
That's
boy.
a lot of guys.
So before, during the break, I know I was talking to you guys about playing first time at Gillette. So let me ask, like going into this season, do you guys think you would actually be going to playing at Gillette? Like, what do you guys talk about?
Well, going into every season, that's always the ultimate goal is, to be playing on Gillette that late in the season. I think that we knew it was a possibility, but we definitely wanted to focus on just the next game, and I think that's definitely one of the bigger keys to our success is just being able to block everything else out and focus on the game that we were playing.
There you go.
I think what Sam said, at the beginning of the season, your goal is always to play at Gillette. And, I mean, the weight room and off-season training, you're always, like, working towards that goal. So I think throughout the season, you're not really thinking about as much. And then after that Tewksbury game, it really set in as a reality that we were actually going to be playing there.
Yeah, you definitely, like, in the beginning of the season, you want to play at Gillette, like both of them said. But, yeah, you just got to take each game as, like, its own game. And then once you get in the playoffs, you do start thinking, like, wow, like, maybe we can actually do this. And then, you get a couple wins, and then next thing you know, you're there. So
I'll tell you, I love their mannerisms. When you to elaborate on your question you mentioned earlier about, what they're carrying over for the junior classmen. I mean, coach, they're just so mature. And, and you hear that with something like as small as Little League, If you're not mature enough to step in the batter's box, how are you going to swing at the fastball? It has to do with confidence. And is that fair to say? Coach, first of all, how do you distill that in these kids, for one thing? I mean, I know you got to get serious and stuff, but...
Yeah.
Mentality.
Yeah.
I think it's a culture thing. I mean, these guys grow up and they're so familiar with the history of it. And I think all of us, when we step into the positions that we're in for North Attleboro, we feel like we have an obligation to carry on a bunch of stuff that people started a long time before us, and we don't want to be the guys that screw it up.
Right.
So whether you're coaching or whether you're the captain this year or whether you're the starting left tackle, it doesn't matter. You just feel this obligation to step up. You're playing for Big Red football, or you're coaching for Big Red football. There's a lot expected of you, a lot of people who went ahead of you who made it all happen for you, and now it's your turn to do the same thing.
Yes, I love your mannerisms. I mean, you guys. I mean, God knows when you're not around, you're probably goofing off being kids. But at the same time, your approach though towards the program, it's really impressive. It really is. I mean, we had the pleasure to have other high school programs in here with the same thing, and it does. Well, you guys know, and you probably saw it with the seniors before you guys. It all starts with you guys. If you guys don't take it serious, one, well, the first thing that can happen, you can get hurt. Two, you lose your job. And now you're a second stringer because you may be a decent player, but in Coach Johnson's eyes, you're not mature enough to play, and he can't trust you no matter how good of an athlete you are. So that's a kudos to you guys. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. Oh, and your parents, got to thank your parents, right? And for your parents, you wouldn't be playing for them at all. We have about 2 minutes left. Why don't we do this? You guys want to do some quick shout-outs? We haven't done that in a while. Is someone you want to give a shout-out to, your mom, your dad, before we step off?
Yeah, the rest of the team.
Yeah,
coaches.
I just want to say hi to my family, everyone who's listening. Thanks for giving us this opportunity to talk about our program.
I'd like to thank the 2017 Red Rocketeers. And
Thank you.
we wouldn't be here without everyone else on the team. So thank you for that, and also hello to my family.
Yeah, shout out to everyone on the team. Regardless of how much you played, you made an impact on the season and you helped out. So.
Well, I know I can speak for Lucy, and we represent 4 Deep Sports Talk Show Incorporated, and everybody here at WARA 1320. When we say congratulations on a great season, good luck and whatever you guys further do. Coach, hopefully we'll be talking soon about, other programs, get you guys back in here and maybe another, big red program. Later on today, we will be at the the Brockton Ice Arena, AZF Ice Arena, as we highlight high school, the tech game. For Lucy Cabral, TJ Albin, Justin Ferrer, I'm Dominic Damian. We hope you enjoyed this hour as we highlighted the 2017 Division III Rocketeers from North Attleboro, your Division III South Sectional champions. We will catch you next time.